Jen has two choices.
Well. It's a Wednesday. What the heck's going on? Wednesday? We're live on a Wednesday? Why are we live on a Wednesday? Can anybody tell me why I'm live on a Wednesday? We had a lot of announcements yesterday. A lot of them about Final Cut Pro, related to Final Cut Pro. Of course, the iPhone 17 event, iPhone 17 Pro event was the big event. But as we've been talking about on Final Cut TV Live every Saturday for a month, 2 months, I said 11, we're going to see Final Cut Pro 11.2 this year. Well, it's not out yet, but it's upcoming. Final Cut 11.2 was announced on the iPhone page yesterday. It was mentioned an upcoming Final Cut Pro 11.2, which is exactly what I've been saying. Now, here's the thing. So when they delayed the Final Cut Pro FCP Creative Summit until next spring, a lot of people were saying, oh, that means they don't have anything for us. That's why they delayed it. No, that's not why they delayed it. Not at all. And I said right from the beginning, there's going to be 2 feature updates between now and the Creative Summit. One this year, which is 11.2, and then whatever is going to be it for the Creative Summit in the spring, I'm thinking it's going to be May. Spring doesn't start till March the 20th, which happens to be my birthday. That's why I know that. So we're going to get 11.2 this year, anytime. Probably not today. They don't update it on Wednesdays typically. Tuesdays, Thursdays, Mondays are the main days that they update it. Greetings from Iowa, Nature Photo Studios. Greetings from the Netherlands. Absolutely. And our good friend Sean Beckner. Hey, Sean, how you doing? How are you doing? So I see comments all the time. Oh, I'm going to switch to DaVinci Resolve. Well, why? You don't have to switch. You can use both. I use both. I use DaVinci Resolve and Final Cut, and I use LumaFusion on my iPhone. I wasn't sure. Since Premiere came out yesterday, or this last week, and they have a free version of Premiere for the iPhone, which is really odd to me. That seems like an odd thing for them to do because they're all about money, 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 money. But they have a free version of Premiere for the iPhone, and it's free. And so far, there's no ads and there's no cost associated. So I thought maybe that Final Cut was going to do that. They still might. They might have a free version to compete with the Premiere version. We have over 50 people watching live right now. Let me see what's going on here. There we go. There we go. Well, we're doing good. So there's more things that happened because of the iPhone event. And as I've been saying for on and off for years, Blackmagic and Apple are like this. They work with each other, and we saw evidence of that yesterday when Blackmagic announced they are supporting ProRes RAW. Blackmagic is supporting ProRes RAW in the new version of DaVinci Resolve. 20.0.2 just came out. Now, ProRes RAW is also now available in the new iPhones. That is incredible. That is incredible. So, as I suspected, the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max have ushered in a lot of professional features, and it has also ushered in things from Blackmagic. They're now supporting ProRes RAW in DaVinci Resolve 20.0.2. The update's out now. Now, your first question is, okay, DaVinci Resolve is now supporting ProRes RAW. What about Final Cut Pro supporting Blackmagic RAW? That's been available since last November. From what I understand, Blackmagic has to do the plugin or whatever it is that makes Blackmagic RAW available inside of Final Cut. But it's available. It was announced at the Creative Summit. Bill Davis announced it as he was leaving the stage. He said, oh, by the way, because of the new Mac OS whatever architecture, Blackmagic Raw is now can be available inside of Final Cut Pro. So Blackmagic has been busy since then, so I'm sure that's one of the things that they're working on. As you know, I got hacked. If you go into the iPhone update 18.16 notes, it talks about a sophisticated hack that was fixed. It was a 0-click, 0-day. Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know you were hacked. 0-click, 0-day? Wow, that's terrible. Terrible. So your phone got hacked, Sean? Is that what you're talking about? Whoa, many camera announcements yesterday. A lot of announcements, and we're going to be talking all about the announcements from Blackmagic. We're going to talk about the announcements from from Apple themselves. We're going to talk about the iPhone 17 Pro. Now, I ordered let me see what I ordered. So, the first time on any cell phone anywhere, the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max can record ProRes RAW. Okay? This is the only cell phone that I know of in the world that can record ProRes RAW internally. The only one is the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max, as far as I know. So here is is ProRes RAW specific to the 17? Yes, I think it is. I think it's 17 Pro and Pro Max. I think it's the 17 Pro and the Pro Max. 17 Pro Max. But the other thing is that Blackmagic came out and now supports, as of today, they support ProRes RAW in DaVinci Resolve. The update is 20.0.2. 20.2 is now supports ProRes RAW. So where is B-RAW in Final Cut Pro? Everything, it was a remote access Trojan. They got into my car, TV, car, MacBook, everything. Huh. That's terrible. That is absolutely terrible. So, is anybody who's getting a, let me see something here. Preview mode. Let me try, so I'm going to try something here. Wait 1 second. And I'm going to turn that off. Here we go. All right. So this is what I'm getting. This is the one that I'm getting. At least right now, I'm getting the iPhone 17 Pro Max, 1 terabyte deep blue. It looks close enough to black, dark, whatever. So this is the version that I've ordered, pre-ordered. They haven't done it yet. And I opted for the 1 terabyte because Apple wants $400 to go from 1 terabyte to 2 terabytes. So they want $400 for 1 extra terabyte. $400 for 1 terabyte. Now, there's a couple of reasons. So far, I'm going to stick with the 1 terabyte. I may change my mind before Friday and get to 2, but so far I'm sticking with the 1. Here's the reason. There's a couple of reasons. Number one is I have enough trouble managing 1 terabyte. Taking my phone, getting videos off my phone, backing them up. It would be twice as much of a hassle with 2 terabytes because you have to get it off your phone. You have to get it off your phone. I watched the Resolve update video, realized why I like Final Cut Pro editing so much better. So many clicks needed in Resolve. I like both. I like Resolve. I've started editing more and more in Resolve, especially text-based editing. I love text-based editing, period. I hope Final Cut Pro gets it. What are we going to get? So Apple has, let's go over there and see what Apple has. Let's just go over there and see what Apple has. Hold on one second. Let me do this, and let me do this, and let me do this. Let's do that. And let's do, well, that's not good. Here we go. So let me close this one out. I'm going to change myself to a squircle. There we go. And diminish the quarter radius and make the size a little bit smaller. So this is Apple's, of course, their Keynote. I'm sure most of us has seen that. But here is the information right here. Apple announces Final Cut camera. Why is that doing that? Let me turn this off. Final Cut camera. And look what it says. Look what it says. Where is it? Here we go. In the upcoming releases of Final Cut Pro 11.2. So they've pre-announced another version of Final Cut Pro. People say they never give us a roadmap. Well, no, they've pre-announced the versions of Final Cut Pro more than one time. This is another time. So I've been talking about 11.2 for several months, at least, since 11.1 came out. First, the bug fix 11.1.1, but they've pre-announced in the upcoming release of Final Cut Pro 11.2. So they've pre-announced the version of Final Cut Pro 11.2. Upcoming. Any day. It could come out this week, it could come out next week. Etc., etc. So that's what's going on with 11.2. Now, the question is, 11.2 is going to have support for the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max version of ProRes RAW, whatever that is. Upcoming, I prefer a date or a month. Of course, upcoming means, I would say within a month or less. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me to come out tomorrow, Thursday. Wednesdays, very, very rarely. I don't know how many Wednesdays there's ever been a Final Cut Pro feature release, but Thursdays are the most popular, then Tuesdays, then Mondays. Never on a Friday. I don't think they've come out on a Wednesday. It doesn't mean they can't. Just saying. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Mondays are the main days that they do it. So, as we've been talking about, I've been talking about 11.2 this year, 11.3, or whatever they want to call it when they do the Creative Summit next May. Well, I'm saying next May, next spring. So spring starts on March the 20th. They're not going to do it at the end of March right before NAB because FMC is super, super busy with NAB at that point. So they're not going to do it between when spring starts on March the 20th and the beginning of April because NAB and FMC is involved. They could do it at the end of April, but I think it's more than likely they will do it in May. That's my guess. We'll see the Summit in May, and in the next version of Final Cut Pro feature update 11.3 or whatever they want to call it. iPhone 17 USB-C is only USB 2 speeds. That's not serious in 2025. It is? Well, you had to get the Pro or the Pro Max then, that's all. I don't know about that. I didn't catch that. I'm surprised you did. Should probably come up with new design after Mac OS Tahoe. New design for Final Cut, do you mean? A new logo change? Is that what you're talking about? Alexander? Alexander, where are you from? Where are you chiming in from? We got like 60 people watching live right now. Thank you for those good old thumbs up. It's always appreciated. It's good for the, what do they call it? Good for the algorithm, the YouTube algorithm. Alexander says, Dominican Republic. Well, thank you. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Thank you very much. It is very, very welcome. I mean, I'm glad that you're here. I welcome you to our live stream. So we got a lot to talk about now. We're just getting started. I wanted to start out with 11.2. Final Cut Pro 11.2 could come out at any time. I doubt if it's going to be December. I think it's going to be within the next month, maybe within the next week, could be tomorrow. Now that they've pre-announced it, it could happen at any time. Well, put it this way. Let's look at it this way. The iPhones are coming out. The iPhones are coming out when? September the 19th? Let me check. Yeah. The iPhones are coming out September the 19th. So I'm going to say you're going to see Final Cut Pro 11.2, if not before, by September the 19th, because that's when the iPhones are coming out. That's when people are going to get them in their hands. That's when people are going to be shooting ProRes RAW, and they need to do something with that. So I'd say within the next 10 days, you'll see Final Cut Pro 10.2. And the thing is, they don't release it on a Friday typically, so it could come out any time. USB 3 is available for years, not a reason for Apple to only get it on Pro or Pro Max. I'm not saying that's a reason. I'm just saying that's the reality. Is if I haven't seen that anywhere. The regular iPhone is USB 2 speeds. I haven't seen that. I don't disagree. Of course it should be. It should be fast across all the phones. And I guess the reason is they're thinking that there must be a financial reason. It must be more expensive and they want to keep the price down or whatever. Or they should give people the option. Upgrade to the Pro or the Pro Max if you're going to be shooting Pro video. In the specs of the iPhone 17. Well, let's just go and check. I'm not disagreeing that it's not true. I'm just saying that, here we go. I'm just saying that I'm surprised, and I do not support that. Apple, it should be USB 3 speeds across all your phones at this point. That's ridiculous if it's not. Let's look at this. iPhone 17, here we go. Capacity. Oh, this is the Pro. Both of these are, iPhone 17 Pro. Let me see. Let's go over here. iPhone 17. Here we go. Let's see if we can get tech specs for the iPhone 17. Supports. iPhone. I can't. I had the specs, but I had for the other, just the Pro and the Pro Max. I don't see support. I don't see. Okay, I'm not in the specs of iPhone 17. I'm not debating that, and I absolutely do not agree with that. iPhone 16 Pro is 3.2. The Pro and the Pro Max are the higher speeds. I don't know why they would do a USB-C port and do a slower USB speed. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous, Apple. You should not be doing USB 2 speeds on these expensive phones. I would doubt very highly that they would take a step backwards on the 17 Pro. USB 2 speeds is the speed of lightning speed. They have dropped for USB-C. No, I understand that. I criticized the lightning port for years because it was so slow, and getting big files off of those phones was a torturous. When you choose to compare iPhone models, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not debating that. It's not. I'm surprised. I'm absolutely surprised. Apple should not be doing that. 100% support USB 3 speeds across the board. Now, one of the weird things that I don't like between the regular iPhone and the Pro and Pro Max? The Pro and Pro Max do not have black. They do not have black, which is my normal color. They have the dark blue and two other colors, the orange and the silver. No, I like the black. I always have, or slate gray, whatever you want to call it. So I'm disappointed. That's one of the things I don't like about it. But I got the dark blue. It looks close enough, whatever the heck that is. So here's some other things that have happened. So we already talked about you can now shoot ProRes RAW on an iPhone, on a cell phone. I think it's the only cell phone in the world that shoots ProRes RAW, if I'm not mistaken. The selfie camera now has a square sensor. What does that mean? What does that mean? That means a couple of things. Get orange, thieves can see it better, easier. So if there's a square sensor, you can hold your phone vertically and still shoot 16:9 with the square sensor. With the square sensor, it doesn't make any difference whether you hold the phone this way or hold the phone this way. So you can hold the phone with the selfie camera, because that's the only square sensor. The other sensors are still 4:3. So with the square sensor, you can hold the phone vertically and still shoot horizontal 16:9 video. So that's very interesting. And from what I understand, you can now shoot the full sensor. It's not restricted to a 16:9 cutout. It's the full sensor. And that goes, from what I understand, goes with all the cameras. You can shoot the full sensor. Open gate, they call it. That's a good selling point. Now, that's only for the selfie camera. From what I can see, the selfie camera is square, the sensor. The other cameras are still 4:3, but you can now shoot the entire sensor instead of a slice out of it. So you can shoot the entire 4:3 sensor. They call it open gate. I've had that on my Lumix S5 Mark II X for years. And I think the GH5 too, before that. shoot the entire sensor. So, and then the selfie camera is bumped up from 12 megapixels to 18 megapixels, and it has center stage on it now, where it'll track you and stuff, since there's a square. The back camera, all the back cameras are now 48 megapixels. And it's an 8 times optical zoom. People that said they predicted, correct, the selfie sensor is the only one that you can hold vertical and get wide angle. Yes, get horizontal landscape, which is pretty cool. I mean, that's pretty cool because people like to hold their phones this way. Now they can still shoot. They don't have to shoot vertical. They can do both. Is it 8K? No, I'm just going to say that. No, it's not 8K. It's 4K. There is no 8K period. And when people were talking about 8K, I said, that seems weird on a little teeny sensor. 8K? I guess some of the other phones do it, but I don't need 8K. 8 times optical zoom on the back or the front, whatever way you want to go, whatever you want to call it. 8K optical zoom, I think it's 4 levels. Is it 4? Larger sensors, better low light, like the Sony FX3 and the Panasonic Lumix S5 Mark IIX. Full frame sensor. It's very, very good in low light. It might be just a step behind the best Sony low light cameras, but it shoots very, very good with fast glass. You got to have fast glass. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. Which I have primes that are very, very fast, so I can shoot. When I need to shoot in low light, I bring out my Lumix S5 Mark IIX. That's what I do. Apple, year by year, is increasing the collaboration with Blackmagic. Eventually, Apple will take over Blackmagic. I don't think they will, because I know Grant Petty, and Grant Petty is... Blackmagic, their whole company is dedicated to video production. The entire company is dedicated to video production. They make video production switchers, they make cameras, they make apps, all about video production. Their entire company. Apple Final Cut Pro is this big. Video production is this big in Apple compared to the iPhone, compared to the Macs, MacBook Pros, compared to the Mac Mini Pros, compared to the iPads, compared to all their hardware. Final Cut is this big. So it's a very, very small, albeit important, part of Apple. Okay? And Blackmagic, their entire business is video production. That's what their entire business is. I will lock all my Apple hardware, TV, phone, computer for a few weeks to see where Apple is going and what impact on my workflow. I still do Blu-ray for now. Do you think the chances of us getting B-RAW support in Final Cut Pro go up now that the ProRes support is resolved? Any hope for B-RAW in the 11.2 update? I would say it's a very, very good chance that B-RAW will be supported in Final Cut Pro 11.2. First off, Apple announced B-RAW support in Final Cut Pro last November. They said last November, and it was because of the Mac OS update, that B-RAW can now be supported in Final Cut Pro. But my understanding is that Blackmagic has to do the plug-in or whatever the heck it is. They have to do that. Apple is not going to do that for them, although, of course, they talk and they help each other, obviously. We got more to talk about with Blackmagic and Final Cut. Good afternoon, Richard. How about those new Resolve updates? Impressive. Absolutely. Our friend Matthew Pate. That will include Apple OS upgrade to be on the safe side. Must be this time very well planned upgrade. Really excited by the remove silence feature. You mean in DaVinci Resolve? Yes, they even had Blackmagic Interfacer in event yesterday. There's a lot. Listen, Blackmagic is doing a lot with Final Cut and Apple and iPhones and stuff. Let's go back to here. So this is what I'm doing right now. I might change it to 2 terabyte, but I really don't think that I'm going to. So here's the chart. Now, here's something that's interesting. See this? Audio mix? It's been out for a year, and we still don't have audio mix in Final Cut Pro. It's in the iPhone, and it's actually in the file, in the video file. Audio mix controls are in the video file, but we still do not have audio mix controls inside of Final Cut. Maybe it's coming in 11.2. So let's see what else we have here. Hold on one second. I'm going to do preview mode. Let me see. Chart. Yeah, this is one of the Blackmagic is incredible. Blackmagic is incredible. Look at this. Look. They have a Blackmagic design announces new Blackmagic camera ProDock. It looks incredible. Now, I don't need any of these features, but this is how you get Genlock from an iPhone. You have to have this dock or another similar dock. This is incredible. I haven't seen the price yet, but Blackmagic is very, very reasonable in their prices. It's got 3 USB-C ports. One of them is USB 2, the other 2 are USB 3, and it'll take a phone. It'll take a microphone via USB-C. You can connect to hard drives. You have HDMI out. You have timecode Genlock out. You have analog audio out with a 1/4 inch, headphone monitoring. Blackmagic and DaVinci and Final Cut Pro. Good team. Good team. I'm a DaVinci Resolve user and thought the AI they have Final Cut can't match AI audio doubling, audio track remixer, subtitles. Not yet, but stay tuned. Genlock for phone, absolutely. SDI what? Outstanding. Absolutely. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that absolutely amazing? This is what they've got. It's not. Yeah, it has. It has Genlock from a phone. I think this is the first, right? Now this is the first dock, the ProDock. Blackmagic camera ProDock. It's not out yet, but it's coming out shortly. So you'll be able to, absolutely. With the iPhone 17 and 17 Pro. 17 Pro and Pro Max. I don't think the other models support Genlock, but the 17 Pro and Pro Max do, from my understanding. That's my understanding. Incredible. We're still not done yet. So there's also Final Cut Camera 2.0. I think that's out. Is it out now? Or if it's not, it's going to be out. Final Cut Pro Camera 2.0 is out. That's how you work with ProRes RAW with that app, and also how you access the full sensor with the Final Cut Camera app. That's how you access the entire sensor rather than just a slice of the sensor, horizontal or vertical. You get the entire width of the sensor. Final Cut Camera, And I believe the Blackmagic camera is also being updated. I believe that's also being updated. We got like 70 people watching live right now. Fantastic. Let me just take a screen grab of that. There we go. There we go. So that's one of the things. What else do we have? We have something else. Let me see something here. I'm going to turn that down. Turn that off. I don't need that anymore. Don't need that. So Apple Log is now version 2. Well, it will be when the phones come out. So the phones will be out. You order the phones for this Friday, and then they'll be in people's hands the following Friday on the 19th. So our friend Eric says, new Blackmagic Cam app out today. There you go. A lot of this iPhone 17 Pro event, this is not the first time that they've had an update to Final Cut Pro announced around the iPhone 17 Pro. But there's a lot more to it, as you can see. They've announced upcoming version of Final Cut Pro. They even said it's 11.2. So, updating my Blackmagic P4K with Blackmagic Camera 9.8 public beta out right now. Absolutely, Lizard Man. That's a good thing. So I like it that Apple and Blackmagic are working together. This isn't the first time. Remember the GPU thing that they had, the GPU extension, that was Blackmagic? It's not the first time. So will 11.2 have BRAW support? I would say it's very, very likely. But Blackmagic has to do the actual work, so hopefully that's coming. That could happen at any time, but hopefully that's coming. So you're going to have ProRes RAW in DaVinci Resolve, and you're going to have BRAW in Final Cut Pro. That's just the way it is. That's it. People have been talking about that for quite a while. Let me just go over here. There we go. There we go. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So first off, we want to do this. We want to, because we know the Final Cut Pro team watches this video. They do. The heck? Hello? Yeah, I'm talking to you on a cell phone. Yes. So Final Cut Pro 11.2 is, quote, upcoming. We know that. We know that. And it has more features than just what they've talked about. Well, I hope so. I hope it has more features than just the couple of things. Otherwise, why call it 11.2 and not 11.1.2? It's got to be a feature update. So this is my thinking. You don't have to say anything. As I've been talking about, 11.2 comes out this year at any time now with features. And then in the spring, perhaps in May, we're going to see another feature update to Final Cut Pro. It could be 11.3. I said could be. I didn't say it was going to be. I said it could be 11.3. So is that something? I won't, listen, we're live on the air right now, so I can't talk for too much longer, but yeah, I understand that. I understand. No problem. Am I getting a 17? Yes, I ordered a 17 Pro Max, 1 terabyte, because $400 for an extra terabyte is too much money. You should charge $99 for that. But anyway, I'm probably going to get the 1 terabyte iPhone 17 Pro Max, the dark blue color, whatever the heck that is. I may change my mind, but I think I'm going to stick with the 1 terabyte. The day B-Raw support drops, it's just me, snacks, and happy tears. It's coming. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading something on the screen. I'm not talking to you. I won't say who this is. Don't worry about it. All right, I got to get back to the live stream. Thank you very much for the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max. Thank you for the pre-announcing of Final Cut Pro 11.2. Yes, you did pre-announce it. It's on the Apple website. Go look at the newsroom under the Final Cut camera. You absolutely pre-announced Final Cut Pro 11.2. You said it's upcoming. Apple did themselves. So, yeah, just go look. Go look. You're right there. Anyway, I got to get back to the live stream. Got a lot of people watching. Thank you for calling in. I won't say who it is. I never say who it is. All right? Okay. I'll talk to you later, Tim. Thanks for calling. I don't know why they sometimes call on the main phone and sometimes call on the cell phone. Is that a Nokia? I don't know. I don't know what the heck it is. It's like my second cell phone. The first cell phone I had was a flip phone, and I have a riding lawnmower, and must have had it on my clip belt, and it fell off, and I ran over it and crunched it up with a lawnmower. So that might have been my second phone. That might have been the phone that I had when 9/11 happened in Washington. I was in Washington. Tim is forgetful. Yes, Tim is forgetful. On the bat phone, absolutely. I noticed the phone colors for the Pro are the same scheme as the Autumn University where Tim Cook graduated. Yeah, but this is the first time that I can recall that they didn't have a dark charcoal gray or black version of an iPhone. I always get the charcoal gray or black, and this time it's only 3 colors. Maybe that's because of the aluminum. I mean, those are using aluminum. Maybe. I don't know. Could be. Let's check out what's going on here. Well, look at that. Looks like their leaves are still green. Fantastic. Leaves are still green, so I don't have to worry about leaves for another month or so. That's very cool. So let's do this. Let's give a round of applause to Apple. Let's give a round of applause to Apple. Final Cut Pro team and Apple for the new iPhones, and Blackmagic, Resolve, Grant Petty and the crew over there, which are fantastic, doing all these things to support ProRes RAW and the new dock that they have. How did you find out about 9/11? I was listening to the radio when the first tower was hit. I was working in a high-rise in D.C., not too far from the White House, and I heard the first plane hit. Was it 9:10 or something? And then the second plane hit, and they shut the building down. Everybody get out, and we had to leave. Terrible mess. But anyway, D.C. was completely gridlocked. We went outside. We got outside the building, but it was completely gridlocked for a long time. But you had to just be patient. You had to be patient if you're in a vehicle. I was driving a pickup truck at the time. So, but I think that was the phone that I had. I had a phone and a pager. I think we've been cleaning up, and my girlfriend found that. I said that's a funny phone back for the day, especially when the iPhone 17 Pro just came out in Pro Max. I'm excited. A week from Friday, we'll be getting the new phones. I would say 11.2 is going to hit by then, because they're going to want 11.2 out when the new phones are out, right? Doesn't that make sense? So anytime between now, they probably won't release it on Friday, but they could coincide it with the people getting their iPhones. But they could put it out Thursday before. Could put it out tomorrow. Anytime now, it's going to have more features than just what they've announced so far. iPhone 17 support. So what else do we have? So one of the things that people were predicting, they weren't predicting, they were saying it's going to happen, is the iPhone 17 was going to have 8K. I'm like, I'm not going to shoot in 8K other than for a novelty. I shoot in 4K now and I deliver in 1080p. As a matter of fact, let me just see something. What is my high quality stream size? Yeah, I'm broadcasting in 1080p, high quality video mode. So did you see the Nikon camera with 32-bit float internal audio, 2200, I think, full frame? Yes, this is the first one that has 32-bit float. 32-bit float is the new standard for audio. I'm sorry, it seems so easy to incorporate. Everybody's got it now. All the wireless mics have it. Rode's had it for a while. DJI Mic 2 had 32-bit float. I really liked my DJI Mic 2. I really liked it for a long time, but recently, last 6 months or so, I've liked other mics better. I like them sonically. So I sold it right before the Mic 3 came out for $250, and then I bought the Hollyland Lark Max 2 for about the same price with a few discounts that I had. So it was like an even trade. Make editing audio easier for sure. Yeah, it's a good, nice high quality version of audio file. It's just like the raw version. So here's my question for everybody. Why would I shoot ProRes RAW on my phone, on my 17 Pro Max? Why would I shoot ProRes RAW versus Apple Log version 2? Because I can shoot Apple Log version 2 as HEVC. But as far as ProRes RAW is going to be ProRes, which the file sizes are very big, 4 to 5, 6 times more than HEVC on a phone. Now, if I have an external drive, as a matter of fact, I have an external drive here. I'm going to show you this one. Let me just get this for you. I have this little Lexar drive, 2 terabyte SSD. Just plugs. Oh, I need the other thing for it. It doesn't quite fit with this case. But anyway, 2 terabytes I can shoot onto this from my iPhone, which is really nice. So I have plenty of space. We got like 80 people watching live right now. That's a lot. So ask your questions while you're here. I'm going to just grab this. Ask your questions while you're here. Put that over there. So let's do this. So 8K was a bust. This is the information about Blackmagic camera ProDock for iPhone 17 adds HDMI, Genlock, timecode, USB-C SSDs, 12 volts power, and audio connections. It's pretty darn cool. This is from Cined. Pretty darn cool. I must say, I didn't see that one coming. I have to go. Be back on Saturday. Absolutely. We will continue the conversation. Maybe 11.2 will come out by then. Do you think Apple would ever buy Blackmagic? I don't think so. I don't think so. Like I said prior, Blackmagic's whole company is dedicated to video production. Everything about them. Cameras, apps, switchers, cabling, mixing consoles, DaVinci Resolve. The entire company is about video production. Apple Final Cut Pro video production is this big compared to iPhones and iPads and Macs and all the other apps that they have. So Apple is not a video production company. All they have a small video production, Final Cut Pro, the ProAds team. Blackmagic, the entire company, is about video production. The entire company is. Why would they buy an entire company about video production? I can't see it. I mean, if they bought Blackmagic, and what would they do with DaVinci Resolve? They certainly couldn't kill it. People would be outraged. No, I can't see that happening. Plus, they work together. Blackmagic and Apple work together. They've worked together for years. Remember the external graphics card, the Blackmagic graphics card? You plugged it in via Thunderbolt, I think. And you could have an external GPU. That was years ago, and that was Blackmagic and Apple working together. So that would be very interesting. Get my collar straightened out there so it's somewhat even. So we have a good fall ahead of us. Number one, I get the new iPhone. My iPhone's this color. This is the color of my iPhone. Denim blue. I don't know what the heck they call it. They didn't have the black, so I got the denim blue. I was going to get the silver, but I don't like it's too light colored. I like to be, if I'm filming in the dark, I like it to be dark. I like the camera to be dark, even though I will get a case for it. I have cases. So I sold my, let me get this. I sold. I traded in my trusty old iPhone 15 Pro Max on my 17 Pro Max. Now, I did a straight up trade. I don't go through any of these cell carriers. If you go through the cell carriers and you commit to a 3-year contract, they'll give you $1,100 for any phone in any condition, up to, I think, maybe iPhone X or something forward. In any condition, they'll give you $1,100 trade-in on it. But you got to commit to a 3-year contract. But I don't do that. Apple has, what I do is I finance my Apple products. So I financed my iPhone 17 Pro Max, 2 years of financing, 0% interest for 2 years. I pay no interest, just pay the principal for 2 years. And because I use my Apple card, I get 3% cash back. 3% cash back. So it's a pretty good deal. And then at the end, in 2 years are up, I'll be trading in my 17 Pro Max for the 19 Pro Max or whatever. So start the cycle all over again. But I don't have to put out the full amount of money. That's one of the things I like about it. That's one of the things that I like about it. Over here, what's this? Oh, that's just the buttonhole. So what else we got to talk about? There we go. There we go. It says, I'm just looking at the, let me see what it says here. The iPhone 17 and Pro Max support open gate recording, allowing users to capture video using the entire 4:3 aspect ratio of the camera sensor for maximum post-production flexibility. Absolutely. That's a great feature. And then the front camera has a square sensor. This new feature, available through the Final Cut Camera 2.0 app, enables creators to reframe, stabilize, and adjust the aspect ratio of footage without compromising image quality, providing a powerful tool for... Let me just pull this up there. I can read a little better. What OpenGate does uses the full sensor instead of cropping the sensor to a standard 16:9 aspect ratio. Increases flexibility, preserves quality, professional workflow. New Final Cut Camera 2.0 app, which brings professional... I don't know. You tell me, is that going to work on the Blackmagic camera? I don't know. I don't know. Blackmagic has the biggest floor plan in Hall 7. Apple has nothing. Blackmagic took over Apple's. That used to be the Apple booth. Blackmagic took it over. Did they demonstrate how to edit the dual recording? The dual recording should be separate files. If it's not separate files, it's I don't want it baked in, so it has to be separate files, and you can do what you want. Alista, how you doing? Glad you could tune in. Gave my BMP 4K a firmware facelift. Guess what? It now speaks fluent ProRes RAW. Absolutely. Listen, the ability that you can record ProRes RAW on a phone is incredible. I mean, when I get it, a week from Friday, I will, of course, play around with ProRes RAW, but I don't think I'll be recording in ProRes RAW all the time. I'll be using Apple Log 2 HEVC. I really like Apple Log a lot, but I mean, I could change my mind. If I was filming and the rest of the crew was doing ProRes RAW, then I'd record in ProRes RAW. I'm here in Connecticut on vacation, thinking I'm getting the 17 Pro Max. That's exactly what I got. I got the 17 Pro Max. Right now, it's the 1 terabyte. I might change it to the 2 terabyte. I don't know. Maybe. We'll have to see. 2 terabytes seems wild also. So they charge, the price goes up $400 for 1 additional terabyte. I have 2 terabyte right here that I can plug into my phone. And this, I don't remember, $250? This might have cost me $250. This is a Lexar. And then I got these as well. I got these little teeny crucial 4 terabyte SSDs that I can plug into my iPhone. And if I was going to shoot ProRes RAW all the time, then I would probably get the 2 terabyte. But I'm going to probably be shooting Apple Log version 2 HEVC rather than the Apple ProRes for my phone. That's probably what I'm going to be doing. So I just don't need it. I don't think. I'm right now I'm pulling files off of because I'm trading my 15 Pro Max and I'm pulling all the data off of this, and I'm pulling it all off of my iPhone 16 Pro Max to just get it emptied, backing it up, of course. And it's taken me a while. I mean, just doing 1 terabyte has taken me a while. I think I'm going to stick with the 1 terabyte because all I do is plug this in and I got 3 terabytes. It's a little teeny thing. It balances fine on the gimbal. I use a gimbal almost all the time. If I hand hold it. Oh, what the heck? Gimbal. What the heck? I got like 80 people watching live right now. Gimbal. I use a gimbal. This came on by itself. I must have touched something by mistake. So this is kind of what we got. Final Cut Pro 11.2 was announced. It's coming out, upcoming. We got Final Cut Camera 2.0 that's come out. We got a new Blackmagic camera app that's come out. We have a new version of DaVinci Resolve 20.2 that supports ProRes RAW. So, and a bunch of other things. They got the new ProDock. Blackmagic came out with the new ProDock. I hate running out of space on my phone. I have the 12 mini and plan on trying to get a new one. Yeah, but I've been buying 1 terabyte phones for years. 13 Pro, 14 Pro Max, 15 Pro Max, 16 Pro Max. And it's been fine. It's been fine. I can manage it. But I shoot mostly in HEVC. I did ProRes log for a while, but I'm going to probably continue to shoot Apple log version 2 HEVC, probably. I'm not doing any serious color grading or anything with this stuff. If I did, then I would shoot ProRes RAW, or I'd shoot in Apple log and ProRes rather than HEVC. But for the phone, Blackmagic camera is out today. So a lot of things have happened around this iPhone event. This is probably the biggest iPhone event that I can remember. All these things, Blackmagic doing all these things. Apple pre-announcing Final Cut Pro 11.2. They've also pre-announced a new Final Cut for iPad version, whatever that is. I don't have that, so I'm not going to be. I don't really care about that as much, but I know some of you do. So, what else do we have? Let me just check on my notes. So ProRes RAW is everywhere now. I mean, it's incredible. I'm very, very pleased. What is going on with that? Oh, that's just I was just looking back at the shadow, one shadow in the back there, but it's fine. It is fine. Anything going on in the backyard? I am glad that the leaves are still green. I am glad the leaves are still green. Why do you record in H.264 when Final Cut Pro prefer to change the files to ProRes for editing? If you do, I know you can edit H.265 file. The time it takes to magnetic mask 50 times more. No, I don't have any problem with H.264 or H.265 for what I'm doing. If I had something that required ProRes, I'd just switch it over to ProRes. But I don't know. The ProRes files are too big. They're too big for my phone. They'd fill this thing up in no time at all. A couple hours, maybe, rather than I have 50 hours, 100 hours. This is my main camera. I will try, when I get my camera on Friday, I will shoot some ProRes RAW to see what's going on. Just see if I like it better than log. I mean, log 2.0 is even better than regular Apple log. So, and you can shoot log in HEVC. I'm not doing any heavy color grading. I have no problem editing this stuff on my Mac Mini Pro. So this is the other thing. This is a lot of announcements around Final Cut, DaVinci Resolve supporting ProRes, a new ProDock for the iPhone. Pretty darn cool, Grant Petty, let me tell you that. So this is very cool, but Apple's not done yet. Apple has another event coming up, the M5 event for the Mac, probably October. Whatever version, whatever suite of Macs they're going to put out, probably in October. So there's another event happening. I'm just going to say October. That's when it seems like it will be. Yes, indeed. Let me just check on something. Can I see? Yeah, there you go. There we go. So it's interesting. Let me just put this up here and I'll keep an eye on it. Very, very interesting. I had a good time with the Apple event yesterday. It was a very, very good event. One strange thing. They never mentioned the iPhone 17 Pro Max. The only one they mentioned was the iPhone 17 Pro and the Air, whatever that skinny one was. They never mentioned iPhone 17 Pro Max in the keynote. Isn't that peculiar? Did you find that peculiar? I did. When it ended, I said, what, there's no more 17 Pro Max? But you went on the website, and of course, there it was. But they didn't mention it. Very strange. Anyway, I'm glad about the increased resolution from 12 to 18 megapixels on the selfie camera because I use that a lot. If I'm filming, even if I'm recording two separate files, I still use the selfie camera quite a bit. So they did not mention 17 Pro Max in the keynote. Now, they have a 17 Pro Max, but they did not mention 17 Pro Max in the keynote. They stopped at 17 Pro. That was very, very peculiar. I was not impressed with new iPhone 17 Pro, beginning a smartphone-like camera that will shoot on ProRes, but much better cameras that are not sold on Apple. They are not the best, in my opinion. I completely, 100% disagree with that. 100% disagree with that, so we don't agree. For that reason, I always let Final Cut Pro use ProRes on my timelines. Even for that reason, I shoot in ProRes LT until my SSD, my iPhone, I think why. Yes, they did, mostly also on the iPhone 17 Pro Max. They didn't show the iPhone 17 Pro Max in the keynote. They went from the iPhone 17 Pro, and then they ended the thing. They never showed the Pro Max. They didn't. I'm pretty sure they didn't show the Pro Max. Let me just see something here. I'm looking at the end of the video. Let's pull this up. Let's pull this up real quick. I don't think they did. You're saying they did. I don't think so. I'm not talking about just mentioning it. I'm talking about showing it on the screen. Let's do this. Let's do this. What do I want to do here? I want to go to... MacBook. So let's look at this. See? There's the iPhone 17 Pro. There's the end of the keynote. Oh, not quite end. So my point is they didn't demo the iPhone 17 Pro Max. I'm not talking about just showing it on screen. They didn't demo the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Usually that's one of the tiers that they talk about, not just showing it and showing a price, but demoing it. They did that whole thing, that whole little video with the iPhone 17 Pro. I thought that was kind of strange, but whatever. Whatever they want to do, that's fine with me. So who's getting an iPhone 17 Pro or Pro Max? Anybody getting one besides me? Am I the only one getting one? Let me see something else here. So this is what I'll be getting. My iPhone 17 Pro Max 1 terabyte. It's supposed to be blue, but it's deep blue, but it looks dark anyway, so that'll be fine. I don't have any problem. It looks nice. I like it. You'll be getting one? Are you getting the Pro Max or just the Pro? Just the 256 megabytes, okay. Planning to get a 17 Pro and 17 Pro Max. You're getting both? You're getting both. That's pretty amazing. I mean, I'm going to have 16 Pro Max and a 17 Pro Max. Max. So I have this 2 terabyte that I can plug in. Should I get the 2 terabyte SSD? You tell me, Lizard Man. I'm getting a 17 Pro Max 1 terabyte silver. I hated the orange. I really love the iPhone Air, but does not have cinematic mode. Oh, I didn't know that. Yes, one for you and one for Valerie. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Got a lot of people watching, like 75 people watching live right now. Let's see what we got. Yep. A lot of people on the X platform, always have. I have the 1 terabyte version of the SSD, absolutely. So this little Lexar SSD is so small and so light, and you just plug it into the phone and you can record to it. This is 2 terabytes. 2 terabytes. So I have that. I have 2 of these little teeny SSDs. And what I do on my rig, I have my Insta360 Pro 2 gimbal, and I just mount this somewhere and run a cable from this into the phone, and it records directly to this. This is another 4 terabyte. So I don't know if I need the 2 terabyte. Do you record simultaneously on both phones, or do you use the 15 as a control unit? How can I use, you mean it with the Blackmagic camera? No, I usually record, if I use both, like for example, if I have a setup and I have the Insta360 Flow 2 Pro Max gimbal and my monopod and microphones and stuff. So that's my main camera, which is the 17 Pro Max, will be recording the main thing. But I might step back and record me recording that. So it won't be the same thing. And then I also have my DJI Action 5 camera that I use. So those are my 3 main cameras. And then when I'm going to record in a different, more professional setup, if I'm getting paid money and people want to see big cameras, I'll bring my Lumix S5 Mark IIX. Probably bring that to the Creative Summit next year, because some of the places that I film are a little bit on the dark side. So I'll have 4 cameras probably. All right, everyone. I think we've talked enough. We've done what we can. Open gate recording is certainly cool on a phone. I really like that. I know they've had it on Android devices for a while, but I wouldn't even know how to run an Android device. I know nothing about them. I don't have Windows. I don't have anything Android. I've always done video editing and music production in my phones, except for that one. Always been Apple. I'm also considering Lexar with the hub, but I'm afraid it'll make my setup too heavy for my gimbal. It's not too heavy for my gimbal. I can use the hub and the SSD, but I can't use anything else. I can't put like lens covers and stuff like that on there. I don't use lenses anyway. I bought a whole bunch of Moment lenses. I have to sell them. So it works. It's like borderline. Maybe they'll come up with a new gimbal. I hope they come up with a gimbal Flow 2 Pro 3 with an increased weight limit. That would be really, really nice. But with my setup, I can mount things without being on the gimbal itself. So, looking forward to getting my iPhone a week from Friday. So thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll be back on Saturday. You know where? You know where we're going to be back? Don't forget to subscribe and like. Here's my YouTube channel. YouTube.com @RichardTaylorTV. Don't forget, if you want to join our Facebook groups, Final Cut TV Radio. We talk about stuff there all week long. I did have 5 iPhones 16 Pro connect with my iPad for remote recording Final Cut Pro. I ditched it because it was so unreliable. For remote recording for Final Cut Pro, you're talking about the multicam thing? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, I'd like to have I'd like, with my DJI Action 5, I can see the screen with my iPhone with their DJI Mimo app, whatever it is. So that would be cool to do two phones and have one as a remote. So for example, I can point all the good cameras toward me and frame it up with another camera, because I don't like those screens that attach on the back of the camera. I bought one. They're too clunky. They add too much weight to the phone. I don't like that. Plus, I shoot on a gimbal, so that doesn't work. But to have another phone in my hand that I can look at for the framing with the main cameras facing me, that would be kind of cool. I don't know if you can do that now. You said you can, but I don't know how to do that. Very, very cool, everybody. I'm going to get off here and get some dinner. Final Cut TV will be back Saturday, probably 10 o'clock. And we'll talk more as we find out more. Maybe we'll get Final Cut Pro 11.2 by then. Maybe with new features. It's going to have new features besides what's already been announced. It's going to have new features. It has to. Thank you, Lizard Man, for subscribing. It helps everything. Helps everything. I don't plan on going to NAB next year, but I certainly will be going to the Final Cut Pro Creator Summit if things go as planned. That's my 71 Strat over there. I think it's a 71. Yeah, it's a 71. I love it. I got a 69 Strat behind me right over here. 69 Strat right there. And I have a Gibson The Paul. I'm going to get out of here, everyone. I'm hungry. I got to get something to eat. Thanks for tuning in. Let's give a round of applause to all you and to the Final Cut Pro team and to Apple for their iPhone 17. I'm excited. We'll have the iPhone. I'll be doing videos with the iPhone 17 Pro Max when I get it on Friday. We'll try ProRes RAW app. We'll try a bunch of different things. Thanks for tuning in. Tune in on Saturdays, 10 o'clock, right here. Thanks, everyone.